Hello my dear student of class 10th, welcome to the online classes of Balangir Public School. Today in this video, we will learn the second chapter of biology, that is control and coordination. Before we start the chapter, we should know about the term control and coordination. So what is control? Control is the power of restraining and the regulation by which something can be started, slowed down or stopped. And coordination is the working together of various agents of the body of an organism in a proper manner to produce an appropriate reaction to a stimulus. In the previous chapter, we look at the life process involved in the maintenance function in the living organism. Movements or changes in the position are an important characteristic of a living being. They are of two types, that is, the growth movement and the second one is the non-growth movement. Animals mostly shows the non-growth movement while the plant exhibit both the growth and the non-growth movement. Growth movements are seen in a germinating seed and the non-growth movement are seen in running of cat, children playing and swimming, buffalo chewing cud, folding and dropping of leaves in sensitive plant like Mimosa pudica. Non-growth movement and some growth movement occur in response to change in the environment, like the cat may be running for a mouse or away from a dog. Plants grow toward the sun or toward the sunshine. In all cases, movements are performed for providing advantages to the living organism. In animals, control and coordination are performed by the nervous and the muscular tissue. Both are absent in case of plant. Human beings have a complex body design with specialized system for performing specific tasks. The higher degree of the body organization make it necessary for the development of more complex and a highly well-knit system for controlling and regulating the body function. Hence, the control and coordination in the human beings is regulated by the nervous system and the endocrine system. So first we will discuss about the animal nervous system. It is a network of the nervous organ, nerve and the neuron that control and coordinate body activity with the help of the electric impulse produced in response to the internal and external stimuli. Here I use the word stimuli. So what do you mean by stimuli or stimulus? Stimulus is an agent or factor or a change in the external or internal environment which bring about a reaction in the organism. And response is the reaction of the organism to a stimulus. All the information from our environment is detected by a specialized tip of some nerve cell. These receptors are usually located in our sense organ, such as the ear, nose, tongue, and so on. So, what do you mean by a receptor? Receptors are the cell, tissue, and organ which are capable of receiving a particular stimuli and initiate impulse to be picked up by the sensory nerve. Some of the sensory receptors are photoreceptor, gustatory receptor, olfactory receptor, and so on. So what is a photoreceptor? Which detect light and form images. They occur inside the eye. Second is your gustatory receptor, which detect the taste and located in the taste bud on the tongue. Third one is your olfactory receptor, which detect the smell and located in the nasal cavity. Next is your tangoreceptor. These are the touch receptor present in the skin. So the structure which possess sensory receptor for picking up information about the external and the internal environment are called as your sense organs. They are 5 in number, that is skin, nose, tongue, eye and ear. Now we will discuss about the structure of neuron or a nerve cell. Neuron or a nerve cell is a structural and functional unit of the nervous system that is specialized to receive, conduct, and transmit the impulse. So a neuron is the basic functional unit of the nervous system. A neuron receives information from the internal or the external environment or from the other neuron. It integrates this information to produce a signal. The signal is conducted along its length and is then transmitted further to other nerve cell, gland, or muscle. A neuron has a three-part, that is cell body, dendrite, and axon. So first we will read about the dendrite function. Information in the form of impulse is acquired here. An impulse is an electrical or a chemical signal in which the message travels through a nerve cell. The second part of a neuron is a cell body, which is also called as cyton or soma. The cyton has the cytoplasm and a nucleus, and it helps to pass the information acquired at the tip to the axon. The third and the last part of neuron is axon. Impulse travel across its length until it reaches the nerve ending where certain chemical or neurotransmitter are released into the synapse. Synapse is the site of the transmission of electrical impulse between the two nerve cells. The function of the synapse is to transfer the electrical activity from one cell to another. The transfer can be from nerve to nerve or a nerve to muscle. So this is the structure of a neuron. At first, the information acquired at the dendritic tip of the nerve cell. Second, this set of a chemical reaction that create an electrical impulse. Third, the information travel from dendrite to the cell body along the axon till the end. Fourth, the release of neurotransmitter at the nerve ending which cross the synapse to reach the dendrite of the next neuron. And the last, impulse delivered to the effector for a response. Now we will read what happened in the reflex action. So what is a reflex action? Reflex action is a type of nervous action. The nervous action are of three types. First, the reflex action, second, the voluntary action, and the third one is your involuntary action. Reflex action and the involuntary action occur without consulting the will. Reflex action is an automatic and the immediate response to a stimulus for protecting or functioning efficiency. For example, pulling the hand back from the flame. And the involuntary action is meant for controlling and coordinating the functioning of the internal organ. Voluntary action of the nervous system is performed under conscious direction of the brain. For example, picking a pen for writing. So, a reflex action is a spontaneous, involuntary, automatic response to a stimulus. It is controlled by the spinal cord and it does not involve a thinking. The latter is a complex activity and involves the interaction of the nerve impulse from a many neuron. As such, it is time-consuming and impractical in the situation that require an immediate response. For example, the withdrawal of the hand on touching something hot, dilation of the pupil on entering a dark room, sneezing when something irritates the lining of the nasal cavity, blinking of the eye when something suddenly approaches our eye, or any immediate response is the example of the reflex action. In a reflex action, the sensory neuron pick message from the receptor and pass it to the spinal cord, where through the Rayleigh neuron the message is communicated to the motor nerve and is carried to the effector organ for a quick response. The path followed by this action is called as the reflex arc. Although the brain does not control the reflex action, yet the information reaches it and it's sorted to be used or interpreted in the future. This is the diagram showing a reflex arc. When someone put its hand on a hot object, the receptor received the message and it directly sent it to the spinal cord or CNS. CNS is the central nervous system. The human nervous system is divided into two parts, that is CNS and PNS. PNS refer to the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system included the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system include the voluntary and the involuntary nervous system. So that's all for today's video. Thank you.